First job mobile of the day. We got ourselves a nice little G3, always gonna be powered with that Yamaha dog on the back. Customer's complaint, replace the trim switch, is still not working. What's kind of crazy is I do have a picture of the trim motor on my phone. I'm pretty sure this one's rusted out, but really easy to diagnose. I'm gonna show you right now how to diagnose a no trim situation, and you're gonna be like, man, I could do this myself. All right, so got the battery turned on. Got nothing here. We're gonna check just to make sure. Back here it doesn't work either. I'm getting nothing, so now it's time to pull the volt meter out. See what we're getting. Oh, she's crisp. Definitely had some overheats over the days. That's a lot of corrosion too. All right. Let's get that multimeter out. Got to turn the volt DC. Here we know is our main battery cables right here. So we got positive and negative. We're just gonna go ahead and put our leads on. God dang. Maybe. I have no voltage, so no, that's not my positive. Hold on, my positive down here, the solenoid. Here we go. Now we're gonna check. Positive, negative. Still no voltage. Let's try messing with this thing, figure out, because he's got it wired really weird. Still nothing. All right, now we're going to the battery. We got 0 voltage. He's got some crazy stuff going on here. Controller motor on there and everything. All right. Got 12 volts here. Got 12 volts here. So now I'm about to look around and see if there's anything else I'm missing. So battery positive. Let's see, we're gonna follow these cables. Ah, we have traced it. It is not hooked up. All right. All right. We're getting noise. We traced that the battery wasn't hooked up as part of it. Especially when you got wiring like that. But we got clicking here. Let's see if we got clicking at the helm. Okay, so that's all good. Perfect example. We got 2 things that's gonna be wrong. It's either gonna be this trim relay assembly, or it's gonna be the trim motor. To find that out, all you gotta do is take off your blue and your green off of this relay over here. So you'll see I got my trim motor wires right here. I'm gonna take the green off here, the blue off here. If you tried to do it while it's on the relay, it will not work. It might actually short something out. So you're just gonna pull those 2 wires off. That goes directly to your trim motor. And we're gonna go positive to one, negative to the other. If you go positive to blue, remember blue sky up, it's gonna make the engine go up. If you did negative to blue, it's gonna make, and positive to green, it's gonna make it go down, green grass down. Drop something in the belly pan. I was telling y'all earlier about this. My go-to. Gotta have the long needle. And you can just go up in there. It's like playing that game as a kid, the surgeon one. All right.
Operation?
Yeah, operation. All right, we're gonna put that right there, so we're not gonna lose it. We got the green wire hanging now. Now we gotta get to this blue one. And you can't mess it up. They put green and blue paint on there. I mean, dude, this stuff it doesn't get any easier. There's one brand that thinks about it, and that's the blue one. Now you got 2 options. You can take your jumper box, which is one I'd recommend, or if you're in the fly, I don't really feel like getting the jumper box out of the truck. I'll take that, take this. Remember what I said earlier? Blue sky up, positive. Green grass down, negative, or vice versa. So we want to go blue up. And then we're just going to touch this to the ground. I'm going to go ahead and get this to a ground now. There it is, good ground. All right. Nothing. All right, we're gonna take the jump box out just to make sure, verify, but as of right now, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I'm pretty sure this is a trim motor. All right, let's see what happens. Absolutely nothing. We have a bad trim motor, and it's that easy. At this point, we know that the trim motor is more than likely at fault. I'm gonna go ahead and say that it is at fault. So what I'm gonna do is show you how to trim the engine up manually since the trim motor is not working. We're gonna leave these wires disconnected because you're gonna need that when we go to put the new one on. And then we're also, just because this is a customer, it's not our road, we're gonna see if these trim bolts will actually come out so that we know what to quote after this, because I remember this thing being really rusty and corroded in the picture I just saw. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it's probably not gonna come off with ease. We're gonna have to probably have a tapping die or something else going on. Yeah, pretty easy one for most people, but if you didn't know, it gives you a picture of an outboard with which way to turn it. So it's saying I need to turn this way to loosen it. So I'm gonna go in here, you're gonna find a flathead, I'm gonna go ahead and loosen that up. It will not let you take it all the way out, so when you feel it stop, don't force it, because there's a little split ring right in there and you could really do some damage. So it stopped, I'm ready to go. These smaller horsepower engines shouldn't be nearly as bad. So we're gonna go ahead and slowly but surely get this thing up. And it takes a second, because I mean, you're fighting hydraulics. Now at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and attempt to put my locking pin down. We got a salty one that probably hadn't been done in a while. And that was about the workout of the day. And I think the problem is pretty obvious right there if you want to see it.
Awesome.
Once we have the engine in the up position, I go ahead and do this as well. I tighten this back up because the first thing I'm going to do when I go to put that new one on and go to trim it up, it's not going to work. It's because of that. And it doesn't hurt to leave it loose. I'm just doing that now so I don't forget, because I won't be back here for a minute. Looks like this one uses 4 Allen heads. Wow. You can really scrape some stuff off of this one, huh? All right. And then if you really want to see it work, I'm sure if we just kind of tap that a couple times and hit the trim, it would work. Should I show them that or what?
You can try.
All right, so I got the jumper on right now. I got it hooked up. I'm gonna show you how to also confirm it. A lot of times you can get it to come back to life. I'm gonna slap on that. She's just done, bro. I think that one is officially done. Got my extendo out with the Allen head on the swivel. That's my go-to. A lot of times I can take these off without having to pull it off. Worst case scenario, I'm gonna have to pull that E-clip off and then swing this down by taking this right here out. But you're always gonna remember what hole it is, so we're gonna go ahead and mark that. Alright. I can get to those pretty easy without having to do that. So let's see if we can't do this. We can go like this right here on this one. That one's gonna break pretty easy. Dude, that's crazy. You can feel the magnetic force on that because there is no barrier anymore. That broke pretty easy. All right. So now we know all 3 bolts are going to come loose on this. It's going to be a happy dude until he sees the price of a trim motor. Because we don't use any aftermarket. OEM ain't cheap. But yeah. Alrighty. So we got the new trim motor installed. Quick little way to test that. Just hook that to the power. That's all I got to trim back down. Now I'm about to feed this back through using the old one. I cut the old one so I could use that as a fish. Gonna fish that back through, go to my trim relay, hook my 2 wires up, and this job will be complete. If it needs fluid, add a little fluid and bleed it. All right, so this one is gonna need a little fluid. If you need to add any fluid, you're gonna take out that right there. First, we gotta get rid of this, pull that out of the way, and you're gonna take that out. While hitting the up button, you're gonna be adding fluid. All right, I've added my fluid. Cables are good. Still has a little bit of air in it. Not too worried about it because he does have a bad seal here and he doesn't want to replace it at this time. I mean, I could bleed it perfectly and come back next week. It wouldn't be blood the way it needed to be. But while I got this is something I just noticed that great opportunity to show you. This is, let's see if I can show you the video. That's what happens when you don't grease your that middle grease fit, that zerk fit right there. If you don't grease it, those bushings end up failing, and you need to use a motor teder. But that's why I don't even know if you can see it, but like the whole thing's just disconnected from it. There it is. That's crazy.